Check. Everybody, welcome. It's going to be a fun evening. Putting on a little presentation. A beginner's guide to bunkies. What is a bunkie? We're going to answer all the questions. And so it is, just like you said it would be. No love, no glory. Most of the time. And so it is, the greater story. Time goes easy. Most of the time. And I can't take my eyes off of you. And I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. So it is. Hello, Gayla. Plymail. Welcome. Folks tuning in on YouTube. We're going to wait a few minutes and let everyone join in. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or 7 o'clock Central. It's going to be a great evening of chats. So it is the golden I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes. Did I say take my mind off of you. I can't take my mind off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes. Well, welcome everyone, and thanks for tuning in this lovely Sunday evening. We got Gail. Hello, Gail. Welcome. Mr. Betsy from Grand Valley, Ontario. Fantastic. Kelly by her pool. I believe she has a Rockwood by her pool. I could be mistaken. Is that actually a photo of you with your pool? I don't know. But anyways, I think that might be the Kelly I'm thinking. Hello, Stephanie. And hello, Kimberly. And Glenn from Oklahoma. Fantastic. Amanda Ott. Good to see you. She's going to put her bunkie in her backyard. So if you want to comment, where would you put your bunkie when you get one? Gila, Oklahoma, fantastic. Texas Fryman, waving hello, fantastic. Sash says my backyard, fantastic. Okay, so yeah, tonight's going to be all about what is a bunkie, kind of beginner bunkie. If you're from Ontario, Canada, Michigan, that's great. This is for everybody, although we are doing a special thing for the Oklahomies tonight. So everyone's welcome, and it should be educational and fun. I'm going to play some more guitar for sure at the end. Answer questions, and I got a quick little video, so let's get to that, and then I'll be back. Hi, I'm David Fraser, founder of Bunkie Life. We're in the building industry,
But what we're famous for are small log cabins called bunkies that can be easily built in a weekend without a permit or a second mortgage. Ultimately, we help our clients create extra space for more meaningful connection. Yes, we help our clients get a cool bunkie. But if you think it's just about the bunkie, you've already missed the point. Really what this is about is creating the space and time for more meaningful connection, and having a bunkie is just part of that journey. It's not just about the space, it's about what happens in the space, how it enables more connection. It allows you to spend that quality time with family and friends. It allows you to be there for each other in both senses of the phrase.
We are the market leaders in educational videos and content as we pioneer this growing industry. Our goal is to be the go-to source for fun, friendly, and helpful advice for families, whether they buy from us or not. Our core offering is an easy-to-build or built-for-you bunkie kit that helps our clients create extra space for more meaningful connection. We're proudly Canadian-made right here in Ontario.
The bunkie is often the difference between that friend or family member coming or not, being there for each other or not. The reason we do this is because we believe family comes first, and when it comes to being there for each other, there are no do-overs. That's one of the reasons we've decided to partner with Ronald McDonald House Charities of Canada in their goal of keeping families close. Because ultimately, we want to bring about a world where families everywhere have a place to unite, unwind, and unplug. I get up every morning excited to help families create extra space for meaningful connection. Thanks for listening, and can't wait to hear from you.
All right, cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about what kind of the plan is tonight, what the agenda is. And so it's good to see people we got some Oklahomies with us from the Yukon. Fantastic. I didn't realize you're all the way from the Yukon, Kelly. So it's pretty low key. If you have questions, you can fire them into the chat, and I'm reading them as we go. This is how it's going to work. So essentially tonight, the plan is I'm going to talk a little bit about, the story behind Bunkie Life. What is a bunkie? What's the big deal about them? Who are they for? That type of thing. And then how we help people. And then at the end, we'll have a question and answer. Now, a lot of people have been asking, this is probably the most common question is, why are you guys doing a promotion in Oklahoma, right? The Oklahomies. Like Marilyn would probably ask this kind of a question. Hello, Marilyn. The main reason is, so we're a Canadian company based out of Ontario. We've been serving the Ontario market for about 7 years and across Canada for about 5 years. And then more recently, we went into Michigan and had a lot of success, met a lot of awesome people. And so our thoughts were, Carrie and I have lots of friends in Oklahoma around the Tulsa area. And we've been shipping bunkies, not just in Michigan. We've been going to Florida and California and a bunch of places. And we thought Oklahoma seems like a good spot to kind of give it a try. It's really central. And everyone that we've met from there has been really super awesome. So we are building one right now at the Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa. And friends of mine ranch, it also has a couple bunkies. So that I'll have more news about that probably next week. And then we're giving a bunkie away, obviously, which is in 2 weeks from today. We're going to give that bunkie away. So, but if you're from somewhere else, if you're from Ontario, Canada, Michigan, wherever you're from, welcome to the live stream. It's still going to be fun and informative, even if you're not an Oklahomie. Okay, so Biz Finch says she's going to build her bunkie on the daughter's property. Natalie, Oklahomie, good to see you. Oh, Kimberly says, I live in Tulsa. Okay, well, fantastic. I'll invite you to the, that once I know the mall bunkie's finished, then I'll invite you to come check it out. Okay, so let's, I wanted to also talk, just for the people that are in the contest, I want to give you a quick idea of how to get points, okay? So during tonight's live stream, I'm going to mention a code word, okay? So you're watching it, or you're watching the replay later, that's fine. Listen for the code word, and I'm going to say a code word. If you can go to the contest scoreboard, and I'll show you how to do that at the end, then you can enter the code word in and get an extra 250 chances to win. So it's a pretty big deal, huge deal. So stay tuned for that, okay? And I've already set up that code word. It's ready to go. So you can head there and enter it in at the end of the live stream. So let me just, before we get to that, obviously we're trying to grow into new areas. So if you could, it would mean the world if you could share this live stream. If you got a share button somewhere on your computer, phone, or tablet, if you could share it and get the word out to more people, that'd be huge for us. So thank you in advance for doing that. I'll give you a brief second to do so. Okay. Now let's talk about tonight's little mini presentation. All right, can everybody see this okay? Okay, let me know if you can or can't see this. So this is what's a bunkie, also known as Bunkie for Beginners. So I'll talk a little bit about Bunkie Life. who are we? Well, Bunkie Life is essentially family life. That's me and my daughter, Evie, who is now 9 years old, almost 10. In that picture, she was much younger, and that bunny was much less ragged. So we're a family business located in Rockwood, Ontario, which is just across, like not too far from Detroit, Michigan, just on the closer to Toronto side of the Canadian border. Some things we're proud of. We've been featured on HGTV's Family Home Overhaul and CTV's Made Right Here. And also, we've successfully appeared on Dragon's Den, which is kind of like the Canadian version of Shark Tank for the Americans watching. It's like a show where you go and you pitch your idea, and then they can invest. And that was kind of the idea. So we were on there at the end of 2021. And then I've also been the proud author of Bunkie Life Extra Space, which is a coffee table book featuring a lot of you, the Bunkie Life community, people that have built bunkies for different reasons. It features their stories. It features our family story and a lot of cool things like that. And it's just a really cool book you can throw in your cottage or your guest house or your bunkie. And people can flip through it. It's a really kind of picture-esque book. Really, really nice book. And then we also put out the Bunkie Life connection cards. So these are your standard 52 playing card set with an extra twist on it. So each card has a specific question that's designed to provoke conversation and deeper conversation. So questions like, what are you doing when you're the most happy? Who's like someone that you really admire? Those type of kind of questions. Some are funny, some are goofy, some are a little bit morbid, but they all get conversation going, which is the important thing. And so that's part of the thing that we've created for our clients. We're also really proud of the fact that we've raised over $125,000 for Ronald McDonald House, and we've also completed, I think, something like 10 Make-A-Wish builds. But ultimately, we measure our success by the success of our Bunkie Life clients. So we've had something like 2,000 families be able to build bunkies in their backyard or at their guest house or their lake house. And it's really made a way for them to host the entire family or more of their friends and family and just get closer with the people that matter most. How did Bunkie Life start? Well, for us, it was scratching our own itch. Our family lives in the country, just about an hour outside of Toronto. We had our first kid, Evie, who's in this picture here, and the question became, we've got no more guest rooms. Where are we going to put mom? And so the search for extra space began for our family. I looked into yurts. I looked into tiny homes. I looked into random trailers in the backyard. I looked into the whole night. I looked into doing a really expensive addition, and none of that was really going to work for our family situation and our budget at the time. And then I stumbled upon the idea of a bunkie. So this was the first one we built back in 2015. That's myself, my father-in-law, and my father, and Carrie pitched in a lot on this build too. And we built a bunkie, and it was a perfect solution. Didn't need a permit. Built it in about a weekend. And we could house my mom and my dad. They could come, put a little queen bed in there and some furniture, and it was just a perfect solution to our problem. And then, of course, being the entrepreneur that I am, I started renting it on Airbnb almost immediately. So I started having guests come, and the bunkie was super successful. And then I built a few more. So you can see here in the pictures, I built a second bunkie, a summer cabin. And then I built a bunkie with a loft, which is the one camping without the hassle. And they both did all three of them did really, really well as rentals. And I was able to pay for them, I think, in about 6 or 7 months. So that was just for us a huge win. And it also helped us, be home more with the family. And so the natural progression of that was, hey, Dave, I love these bunkies. Make me one. And so in 2017, we started selling bunkies to people, mostly our friends and family, to start in 2017. And then we did a promotional contest in 2018, much like the one we're doing now in Oklahoma. And that was when it really took off. So 2018, we started selling all across Ontario. And that's really the dream. We wanted to help create a world where families everywhere have a place, just like we did, to unite, unwind, and unplug. And so now we're coast to coast across Canada and California to Florida and a lot of places in between. So we're coast to coast across Canada and the USA. Now, what is a bunkie? There's a lot of different ways of getting at it. I think the term originated here in Ontario, short form for bunkhouse. So it seems to originate in Ontario. It's a short form for bunkhouse. And it's kind of a cottage thing. Now, I know in Oklahoma, there's mixed reviews on whether people use the word cottage, but cottage is the word we use to kind of talk about this like extra rural property that you go to with your friends and family. It's kind of like your getaway, if that makes sense. And the bunkie usually doesn't have a washroom or a kitchen. They do sometimes. People add that to their bunkies, but usually it's just like an extra set of beds. And a lot of places across Canada and in most of the places in the USA we found, they're small enough they don't generally require a permit. Obviously, consult with your local mafia to be sure, but generally they're small enough. They're not, they're not. You don't need a permit for them, which is a huge advantage. People get super excited about not having to talk to building inspectors, and they can just build it. Now, what's the big deal about Bunkies Life? Bunkies is that they are super easy to build. It's a big part of it. So all the logs are pre-cut for you at our factory. Everything interlocks together. All the corners are dovetailed for you, and everything's included, including the windows and the doors. They all kind of slide in. So there's no measuring. There's no cutting involved. It's just a really fun, easy kind of assembly job, like a Lego kit. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Most clients find they can build a bunkie in a weekend or so, even without experience. So let me show you kind of how they come together. This is a video. So this is a group of dudes, first time building the bunkie, and they're just kind of pounding them together. So you need like a mallet, and you can assemble a bunkie. So you can kind of see how all the logs are pre-cut, pre-assembled, and then I'll just slot in like a big Lincoln log set, if you've ever played with Lincoln logs as a kid. And they finish beautifully on the outside and also on the inside, which is super, super key. So you'll see the shot there of the blue bunkie is the exterior shot, and then the shot on the top left there, that's an interior shot, and that's how they finish right away. And the result is you have extra time and space for what matters most. Now, who are bunkies for? I would like to say everyone, but that's not really true. Who we tend to help are busy, hardworking small business owners, professionals, people who own a family cottage or a rural property. These aren't really things that people with condos buy because they need some space in the backyard or at their lake house. And we also sell a lot of bunkies to individuals and businesses who are looking to add to their income streams. So people will often take the idea that I had and run with it, which is let's buy these and rent them out on Airbnb. They do very well. They're relatively inexpensive, and they produce a good amount of cash flow. But I'd still say that the number one kind of clientele is I've got this family. I love them. I want to spend more time with them. I want them to come and visit. And so the bunkie's the bridge for that, to make that happen. So here's how we help. So as you may notice from this live stream, we try to help people understand what their options are. A lot of times people don't know a bunkie even exists. The concept is very foreign to a lot of people, even in Ontario still. So they don't know what they don't know. So we want to get the word out there. Hey, this is a potential solution for you. And we also want to help people through the planning process. So there's going to be a lot of questions they have. How do I do the foundation? How do I build, et cetera, like that. We want to help people through that process. And ultimately, we want to be the helpful, trusted, go-to source of advice, whether or not you buy from us. And of course, we have our easy-to-build bunkie kit, beautiful on the inside and the outside, easily built in a weekend without needing a permit or a second mortgage. That's kind of what we're known for. And we also offer a built-for-you bunkie. So we've got a large list of bunkie installers who can handle everything. Even in Oklahoma, we've got some contacts starting now. So you can hire someone to do it for you. Although, like I said, most clients, even without experience, can build it themselves. So you can kind of see how they come together. Now, bunkies as is here in Canada are kind of 3 seasons. I would say in Oklahoma, that's more like 3.8 seasons. And of course, you can always insulate the roof and the floor and bring it up to more like a year-round use scenario. Ultimately, we give people their quality time with the people who matter most. We're in the business of helping families create extra space for more meaningful connection. A couple bonuses as well. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities. So we have in-person events like the Bunkie Life barbecue that's happening this Saturday at our factory in Ontario. You're all invited, even if you're far away. We also have built, like when Make-A-Wish approaches us to build a bunkie, we'll often get volunteers for that, which is a really fun way to spend an afternoon or two. And we also have the opportunity to give back through charitable donations, which is part of our business's ethos. And we have a private community now of over 1,400 individuals on our private Facebook group. So that's everyone who's bought a bunkie and their family members can go on there, get advice, offer advice. It's a really active group, and it's a really successful group. So that's another perk of being a Bunkie Life client. We cannot wait to serve you as a Bunkie Life client. Now, I tried my best to give you an overview there, but I'm sure you have specific questions. So at this point, you can absolutely throw out any questions you have in the comments. And if you're tuned in live, if you could throw a comment, it doesn't have to be a question, but just throw a comment to test your comment ability to make sure you can actually comment. So you can just say, hey, yo, what's up? Whatever you want to say, just so you can test if your comments work, that would be helpful. Now I'm going to go back to Leona Mandel's question. She asks, can I put heat and air in the bunkies? Yes. So there's lots of options of doing that. A lot of people use small wood burning stoves. I would suggest checking out Cubic mini wood stoves. There's also some really great Martin propane wall heaters. They mount on the wall, vent directly out the wall. Super safe, super easy to use. And there's also just like the classic just extension cord and little space heater. I use that myself. Works great. And in air conditioning, same thing. You can use a window mounted one or a heat pump, air conditioner unit, or even just like a little floor swivel one. I've got one of those in my bunkies. But in Oklahoma, you're going to need air conditioning. In Ontario, it's not really necessary generally. Good question. Okay, so people were asking earlier in the show about the points and such. So I want to make sure I address that. So if you're in the contest, there's basically what's called the contest scoreboard, which is the place where you go to see how many points you have and to add more points. I'm going to show you how to get there. Okay, so just bear with me here. What you want to do is you want to go to bunkielife.com. Wait, hold on. bunkielife.com/bunkie contest scoreboard. That's kind of the website. So this is what you'll see. You'll see you've successfully entered to win a $10,000 log cabin bunkie. And then you'll see here. So if you see this, enter to win, what this means is that you're not signed in. Okay, so if you're already registered, you want to click here to sign in. So I'm going to enter my email that I used last time. I don't remember what that was, so I'm just going to sign in again. But if I was already signed in, it would show this screen, which I'm about to show you. So and if you haven't already entered, you can enter as long as you're a resident of. So you go here, and then it's going to show you this. This is the scoreboard here. So it says you have 50 chances to win, and you can earn more chances by clicking the buttons below. So most people just kind of drop off around this point, but you can do things to earn extra points. For example, you can click here and watch us on Dragon's Den. So if you click this video link, it'll open up a new window with the video. You can watch that and answer the question. And if you do the right answer, then you'll notice here now I have 275 chances to win because it just added the points to my score. And you'll notice here that watch Bunkie Life on Dragon's Den, there's no more points here on the right hand side because I've done that action. And there's just a million things you can do. There's fun things to read and watch and do and listen to, etc. And if you go down to the bottom here, watch the live stream number 1, A Beginner's Guide to Bunkies. That's the live stream you're currently watching. We're watching it together. So when this is done, I'm going to mention a code word. And you're going to go here, and you're going to type in the code word, whatever that is. Okay? I'm not going to do it now. But when you're ready, That's what you do, okay? If anyone has any questions about that, that's how we do it. Okay. So Bunkie contest, scoreboard, that's how you find it as well. Oh, someone asked, how well does it hold heat? That's a great question. So if you're in Oklahoma, so I host people here in Canada. So we're farther north, and I host people here in Canada without any insulation in my bunkie. I host people here until about Christmas time. So in Oklahoma, it'd be no problem at all. It's when it gets about, minus 20 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but that's when it gets cold. So if you have a good heater, the bunkies are quite well to hold heat down till pretty much the dead of winter for you guys. And you can also insulate the roof and the floor and even add a little bit more to that. So really good question. Sash says, we have the perfect spot on our 5 acres. I'm dying to put a bunkie here. I want to create a place for my friends to come and visit and experience our little farm, enjoy peace, quiet. Amazing. Sash, where's your farm? I'm curious. Okay, Devin, how do I get our extra 270? I think I just answered that one earlier, so I think we got. So you go to this link here and do the steps I just did. Guest room, hunting cabin, office cottage, etc. Yes, 100%. Hello, Brian from Oklahoma. Welcome. Can multiple bunkies be attached together? Kimberly asks. Absolutely. Some people have done that. It's a little bit of a carpentry job, but more and more clients are doing that. Just keep in mind, if you have a footprint you need to stay under, if you add a bunkie to each other, eventually you're going to get big enough where you might need a permit. So just be aware of that. I think in Oklahoma it's 200 square feet. All of our bunkies pretty much fall under that, except maybe the Haven Ultra. So you're probably fine, but if you start bolting on a bunch of bunkies onto your bunkie, you might be into permit required land. Just as a heads up, that's on you to do your due diligence there. Sash says, I would love to put in a wood stove. Yeah, check out, let me tape it in for you. There's a number of good companies in that space, but the one I like is cubicminiwoodstoves.com. Check them out. I don't get paid to shill them, but I do like their products. Check them out. Okay. Joshua, watching in North Oklahoma. Welcome, man. This would be an amazing present since my anniversary is the 24th. Well, that's fantastic. Leona says bathroom. So a lot of people will add small mini bathrooms or half bathrooms or full bathrooms to their bunkies. We just sell you the bunkie and you can bolt on what you need. Wondering the cost of installing a mini heat pump, Gary Graves asks. Gary, I've bought one for my house. Actually, I bought 4 for our house. We have all heat pump heat and cooling, and I think they're about $2,000 Canadian each, was roughly what we paid, I think. And they're awesome. So I don't know what that would be. And there's a company called Mr. Cool that we use because Mr. Cool has like do-it-yourself heat pumps. So we actually installed them all ourselves. It's really easy. Like I think anyone could pretty much do it. You might want to get an electrician to do the actual wiring part, but other than that, it was super simple. Do people use composting toilets in these? Kristen asks. Absolutely, yes. That's probably the number one solution because in a lot of places, if you just throw a composting toilet in, it's self-contained, and you don't need to worry about waste disposal, septic, and all the complications that entails. So a composting toilet's a great solution. They work awesome, and they're like the newer generation composting toilets are quite good. They never smell. They're not icky. They're easy to clean. So there's a lot of good options that have just come out in the last few years in that niche. Natalie says a mini split would be good too. Hubs is an HVAC journeyman. Okay, well maybe Natalie, if you could chime in, how much are mini splits to if say we were to hire your husband? How much would that cost, kind of all in? I'm curious. Sash said we had a radiant heater in an RV and it might be perfect. Yes, a radiant heater works really good. I've got one in 2 of my bunkies actually. They work really well. Now, Gayla says we could use a mini split to heat and cool. Yes, and in Oklahoma specifically, for the Oklahomies watching, you have that temperature where it doesn't get crazy cold, but it does get hot. So it'd be great as a air conditioning, and it would also be pretty adequate for your heater, I think, all winter as well. Kimmy, looking to insult, and you touched on that. Thank you. I wasn't looking to insult. I'm trying not to insult anyone today. Try not to be too insulted, unless you meant insulation. Are the factory windows pretty standard for the factory store windows? So all of the windows that we make at the Bunkie Life factory are double glazed, tempered glass on the door. They're pretty solid windows. The only ones that are smaller are the summer cabin and the bathroom bunkie. They have single pane. They're a little less beefy, but the rest of the products we offer are double glazed and like pretty substantial with good R value too. Can you add a bathroom and kitchen? Absolutely, Ruth. People have done it. Just make sure that you're complying with your local mafia. And like, for example, here in Ontario, as soon as you add plumbing, you straight into permit required land. So the solution to that, as people mentioned earlier, composting toilets can kind of get around that. And then if you have like a little sink or something, if you make it like kind of a self-contained sink, that can work well too. Lori, so excited to see Bunkies coming to not only the United States, but Oklahoma too. It's such an awesome and creative idea. I love your family story. Blessings to y'all. Thank you. That's very kind, Lori. Appreciate that. We're excited to be there too. I love Oklahoma. I was there in May or June. It was beautiful and people were awesome. And so that's why it's kind of our first foray into the South. It's not the South, but Michigan, Oklahoma. I don't know if that doesn't feel related, but it makes sense to our strategy. We want to reach the Southerners because you guys can actually build stuff in the winter, whereas in Canada and Michigan, everyone just shuts down and stops building. So that's a big part of the strategy. I just gave it away, but just really think Oklahoma has the right kind of people that I think can embrace, like people that kind of are cool with embracing a new idea, if that makes sense. So bunkies are very new. They're becoming a little more commonplace in Ontario and slowly spreading through Canada and now Michigan. But they're like, when you say bunkie, people have no idea what you're talking about. And that's going to be true for a few years, but give us a few years. Oh, great question. G asks, are mice, squirrels, etc. a problem? So I'm going to say straight up, I live in the country, in a country house, and there's almost 0% chance you're going to completely keep mice from getting into your house. Bunkies are similar in the sense that you can do your best. You can caulk your seams, make sure your door's closed. But the reality is, if those buggers want to get into your bunkie, they're going to get in. But the good thing about a bunkie is because it's a log cabin style, like the wall is the wall. There's no internal cavities for them to nest inside. Like in a house, when you have drywall and you've got these big cavities in the middle, they can nest in there and then breed, and next thing you know, you got infestation. That never happens in a bunkie because there's nowhere for them to really hide. So my advice to everyone is always, if you're shutting your bunkie up for, say, like, going on vacation or shutting up for a season or something, make sure there's no water in there, make sure there's no crumbs, no food, nothing for them to want to go in and eat or drink. And that will solve 99% of the problems. And then I always have a trap set just in case. And I've caught maybe 3 mice in the 7 years I've had my bunkies. So it's not a major thing, but they will get in. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how sealed you make it. But just make sure there's nowhere for them to live and breed and start a family. That's what you want to stop. Danielle says, I absolutely love what your creative business is all about and how active and caring you are. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Facebook user, I got all mine done. I'm not sure what that means, but fantastic. Oh, I think you meant insulation. Okay, I think I was referring to insult. Jennifer from Oklahoma. Welcome, Jennifer. Awesome. Bunkie star continue to rise. Thank you, sir. Natalie, you mentioned a wash. I'm interested in it for a guest bedroom for my family when they visit our farm. Can a bathroom with a shower be added? Yes. If you email us, Natalie, I can send you some photos. So a lot of clients send in kind of more private photos of like, here's what I did, here's how I did it, but they don't necessarily want to share them like publicly. Every Saturday we'll do usually a post of a client story with photos, but we have dozens more of client stories that are more private. But I can share some of those, like here's a bunkie with a bathroom bolted on, that type of thing. So it would be a little bit of a carpentry job, or sometimes people just get their bunkie, and then they have a bathroom bunkie right next door. So there are a lot of photos you'll see. It's like bigger bunkie, small bathroom bunkie. That combination's pretty nice. And most people are cool with just like stepping on a little deck and going to their bathroom. But there's lots of ways to solve that issue, which is you want to have a bathroom and a bunkie together. It's totally solvable. It's totally an issue that tons of people have figured out. So if you email, I can give you some ideas. Or sometimes people even put little walls inside their existing bunkie to add a bathroom. But it's just we're not dealing with huge spaces. So you want to kind of budget your space. So, yeah. Willy Wonka, are you located around Caledon? Yes, we are. So our factory is in just outside of Rockwood, between Rockwood and Acton on Highway 7 in Ontario. And we're having if you're local, we're having a barbecue for the whole community on Saturday. There's still a few slots left. If you email me, I can get you in there. Darby, I missed the code word. What was it? I haven't said it yet. Darby Ellis, but I will shortly. Oh, Kimmy, are the windows pretty standard for replacing with factory storm windows? If you know, so we make custom windows. So the windows are custom made for the bunkies. They're custom made to fit correctly into the bunkies. You can replace them. Some people have done that. But like for example, you break a window, we could just send you a piece of glass because we make it all ourselves. It's very easy for us to FedEx a window to anybody. So usually if someone breaks a window or something like that, we'll send you the exact same window. And they're custom made for our bunkie kits, if that makes sense. Oh, Gail says, I have a Mr. Cool in my home and we love it. Awesome. Is the build ongoing now in the Woodland Hills Mall? So my main man Paul from Outdoor Inc. just texted me some photos. I think it's pretty much done, but I think he had some kind of window dressing and some other setup he wanted. So I don't know if he wants me sending people there yet or not, but I will email everybody when it's ready to go, and you're all invited, and it should be fun. If you're in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, you're invited. Are they good against strong Oklahoma winds? Yes. Okay, that was a great question, Darby, and thank you for asking it. I was hoping to get to it. So last spring, last fall, we had a hurricane, Fiona, run through Florida and then run and hit the East Coast. And it hit a lot of our East Coast, like Nova Scotia clients. And so far, and some of them had trees fall on their bunkies and stuff. So far, every bunkie is still standing. Not everybody's cottage is still standing. So the bunkies held up very well during hurricane winds. All this stuff is engineered pretty intensely for like northern Ontario snow loads. So it's engineered that way. And then against wind, there's special ways we have hurricane clips and options. If you're in an area that you think you might get tornadoes or hurricanes, you won't get hurricanes in Oklahoma, but you will get hurricanes on the East Coast if you're from the East Coast or Florida. You're going to get those hurricanes. So just make sure you're following our steps about how to secure all the logs together. And so far, one person did get hit with a tornado. It's probably 5 years ago. It grabbed the top of their bunkie and took it off. And they were able to grab it with an excavator and put it back on. And it's still standing to this day. But they did not use the hurricane straps. So use those hurricane straps or the clips or whatever you got to use. Don't skimp on that if you at all think you might get crazy winds. Okay? That's my advice. And thank you for the great question. Oh, Marilyn was wondering about wind as well. I hope I nailed that question for you. Sash, I love how you keep saying local mafia. Fortunately, we don't have too many ordinances here. Sash, where are you? Are you in Oklahoma? Are you a Canadian, or what's your background? I've heard that. Like, that was another reason we liked Oklahoma. Was like all my buddies are like they called the town. They're like, I'm thinking about building the bunkie, and they're like, on your land? Yeah, it's our land. Do whatever the heck you want. So that's a plus in my books. Someone says, Oklahoma is ready for the Bunkie Life. We are the South. Fantastic. Fort Cobb here. Good evening. Welcome, Michael. Oh, how high can this be set? My reasoning is to allow for plumbing access. Okay, that is good. So it's always a good idea to get them a little off the ground so you don't have any dampness issues. I'm going to show you, this might take me a minute here. So if you go on our Facebook page and just scroll through the history, there's like dozens and dozens and dozens of stories that we've featured of clients. But if you also go to, let me share the screen here. If you go to the gallery, some of these are older stories and older things, but if you scroll down, so there's some kind of treehouse style bunkie. So you see there's a deck here on this guy in Kingston. But okay, Ottawa River. This guy's got enough room for a bike under there. And then Petrolia. This is actually my mom and dad's bunkie. They bought back in 2018 from us, I think. and you could hang a hammock under there. You could totally get plumbing under there. And same with this one over on the left. So depending on how hardcore you want to go, you can kind of go full on treehouse with these things if you want, but just make sure you do it safely. But yeah, most people are doing something a little more reasonable, like, for example, this one in Nipissing, Ontario. That you could still get plumbing under there, and maybe even store stuff under the deck, but it's not a treehouse. So thanks for that great question. Okay. How do the Bunkies handle the humidity? It's a huge thing in the South. Totally, and we've acknowledged that. So we also have a lot of clients on the east and west coast of Canada, like Vancouver Island, for example. Pretty humid. There's kind of like ocean spray. Same with the East Coast. I would highly recommend use a good wood sealer. Ideally within the first 3-4 months of getting the Bunkie, so that there's no chance for like it to get kind of damp. But they handle well. They're wood, right? So they handle things like humidity. They're going to swell. They're going to contract. That's a natural part of having a log cabin. But the Bunkies are designed for that. That's why we make the custom windows. They're made to kind of move and float with the Bunkie, but over time that's going to slowly get tighter and tighter, and then you're going to have a really tight seal. And as long as you keep it properly stained and keep it not getting insanely damp, it's a log cabin. There's 100-year-old log cabins still standing, so it's a key to get good roof on it to prevent any type of leaks. Obviously, and then you want to get a little bit off the ground so that you can get airflow. And it's not going to get damp underneath, and then you want to get a good stain on it that is sheds water. So that's a great question. What is your most common upgrade? So a lot of times people will add extra windows, so they'll ask us to make an extra window, sometimes an extra door, or they'll just say, "Can you give us extra boards? We want to add a bathroom, we want to add something on," so they'll kind of make a little mini wall, or they bolt on an exterior Bunkie to their Bunkie. If that makes sense. We talked about that earlier. The windows are probably one of my favorite parts of the Bunkie Life inventions. Plus, you have the option to keep the bugs out with their screens. Yeah, so all of our kits that we make at the factory have screens built into them, and weather stripping and seal. So when you just basically slide the whole thing in there and then put the handle on and you're done, which is nice. Hello from Oklahoma. Do the Bunkies come with insulation? So we just kind of sell the standard kit. If you want to add insulation, I'd recommend doing the roof and doing the floor. And that usually gets most people here in Ontario, that gets them to, call it 3.99 seasons. There's people that live in their Bunkies full time, just insulating the wall or insulating the floor and the roof. Insulating the walls are a little trickier. We're working on a way to do that, but in general, you're not going to need to do that if you're, south of Illinois. Like you don't get the intense winters that we get here, and it's more just a case of like it'd be nice to have a little bit of insulation for the summer when it gets super hot. How can we get a dishwasher or a Bunkie? I would just lift it with the help of a few friends, put it in the Bunkie, and then build a little frame around it so it doesn't look weird. But you could totally do that. Busy Finch asks, warranty or guarantee? Yes, we actually have 3 guarantees with Bunkie Life. Number 1, if you don't love your Bunkie, you can ask for your money back, and it's a full refund within 2 weeks of purchasing it. And then if you need a refund after that, we'll still give your money back. We just gotta wait. You gotta wait till we sell the Bunkie to someone else. And then secondly, we have a 5-year replace or repair guarantee. If anything, unlikely event, something goes wrong, we'll replace it or repair it at our discretion. And the only thing that ever breaks is a window. Usually someone breaks a window, or they are too hard on the door and the door mechanical breaks down. We send you another one. That's the only thing that ever goes wrong. So replace or repair guarantee. And then the third guarantee is the neighbors impressed guarantee. If they don't agree you have the best looking Bunkie on the block, we will personally buy them a beer and tell them to get their eyes checked. Oh, so Sasha's, I'm from McAllister, Oklahoma, but we're in Arpalar. That's out of town. I'm probably not saying that right, but that's cool. So, yeah, we were talking a little bit about what area you're in, and you're asking about, you're saying you don't need many. Yeah, not a lot of regulation there, which is fantastic. Now, I've heard Oklahoma does have some unpredictable weather. That's fair. You can go from snowing to ice to, that's your winter. Oh, Kelly asked, do you have to treat the wood? It's highly recommended. If you don't, so the wood's going to come as just premium grade spruce. It looks just gorgeous when you get it, but over time, if you don't do anything to it, it's going to gray, because the sun's going to beat on it, the rain's going to beat on it, it's going to start to gray, and it's not going to gray in an attractive way. It's going to gray like certain parts are going to get really gray, and then other parts that are more shaded aren't. It's going to look like junk after about a year or two. So my recommendation is usually like get some stain on it within a year or so, and once you get the stain on it, then it's going to prevent any type of graying. It's going to protect the wood. It's going to shed water better. It's just everything's better when you treat the wood. You don't have to, but it's recommended. Does it come with shingles? Great question. So we've decided it's just a lot better for you as a client to just buy the kit and then add your own finished roof. So the kit itself is going to come with all those deck boards. They're included in the kit. And then if you want to do a shingle or a metal or a thatch roof or a shake roof or whatever you want to do, we'll help you with that. We've got a great set of sheets to order. But it's going to be cheaper and more custom to you if you order it locally. So we'll assist you with that. But we just actually found it was better than us shipping a bunch of shingles around when you could buy them locally for cheaper. Has anyone installed a water catchment system successfully? Yes, Kimmy. Check out, there is a couple of videos on YouTube, Can I Live in a Bunkie? I'll show you how to find that. So there's one's the summer edition and one is the winter edition. And I'm pretty sure Dan had, well, multiple clients have had, Can I Live in a Bunkie? Multiple clients have had the water catchment thing. So this is the one you're looking for. This is part 1. And then there's, if you click here, that's part 1. You can also skip to part 2 here. So that's the winter version. And then the summer, which is probably not as applicable to people unless you're in Canada. This is the summer edition, which is very applicable. This is like one of the hottest days we went to visit. And a lot of good advice there about summer stuff. And I think you can see he's got eaves troughs that also catch water. But lots to learn on this particular video series that we did. I will go back. I'm going to close that. Okay, so that's a really good question. Y'all ship to Houston, Texas? Yes, absolutely, sir. Awesome. I live about 45 minutes from Oklahoma-Texas state line and don't usually use a heater until the temperature hits low 30s. Yeah, totally. Like low 30s, I mean, you'd be very toasty in a little bunkie if you had a little tiny heater. Are you serious? You're giving away a bunkie? Yes, if you're an Oklahoma resident. We'll probably do another one in Canada at some point, but for now, it's for the Oklahomies only. But I hope this is still educational and interesting, even if you aren't in the contest specifically or can't eligible for the contest. Let me talk a little bit about the upcoming live streams. So tonight is, of course, the Beginner's Guide to Bunkies. Hope it's been informative. Hope it's been fun. And then on Thursday the 14th, we're going to do how to build the best bunkie. So that's going to be all about building, questions about insulation, all the questions I kind of touched on. We'll go in more in depth into that one. You'll also get 250 points for tuning in then. So that's 4 days from now. And then a week from today, Bunkie Boost enhancement ideas. I'll talk a little bit about some of the amazing things that clients have added onto their bunkie. So we'll talk about that on Sunday. And then, of course, looking forward to next week. I might do a bonus presentation if you guys want me to, you folks want me to, maybe about how to make money, Airbnb. That's a kind of an optional one. We'll see if it happens. And then, of course, on Thursday, the 20th, I'll talk about the inspiration behind Bunkie Life, our family story, why we do what we do. And then we'll announce the winner on Sunday, the 24th. So that's kind of the idea. And I didn't want to talk about the sale, but there might be a little sale as well. But that's the idea. So if you have any more questions, I'm here for you. It's what I do. Feel free to chime them in. It's been a very solid 50 minutes, and I'm happy to stay until everyone's questions are answered. So, okay. So if you win the bunkie, are you and your wonderful family coming to visit? Our plan is to come in December. But obviously the person will have gotten the bunkie hopefully before that. But I'm thinking about December potentially. It's up in the air. I was just there, and I wanted to go back last week, but I wasn't able to make it. But yeah, anytime I can go to Oklahoma, I'm there. Really had a great time. Kelly says, thank you for the live stream. Very informative. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Guys, obviously, we're a brand new baby business in Oklahoma. If you've enjoyed yourself and you want to increase your chances of winning, tell other people about it. If someone's got a backyard that needs a bunkie, which is pretty much everybody that has a backyard, let them know about the contest. Let them know we're the real deal. We're not some. A lot of people, I can understandably understand that they're like a little skeptical. If you could let them know that, hey, they're the real deal, that would mean a ton to me, and it would also help your chances of winning. So let people know. Someone asked, if I bought a bunkie, how long do I have to build it? I say this because I'd like to buy a bunkie and then a property I'm currently. So ideally, if you could get your bunkie and build it within 30 days, that's what we advise, because it is fine to leave it out, but you have the risk of mice coming in, nesting in your bunkie, or carpenter ants coming in, chewing on your bunkie. So ideally, get it and have a plan to build it that month or two. Some people are writing us now about a bunkie they built last year. It's still working, but it's a little bit more of a thing if you can't build it right away. So I'd suggest, if you're thinking of getting a property, maybe at least get a closing date set in the property and then talk to us and we'll ship it out and try to time it well for you. Andrea says, looking forward to the next one on building it. Awesome. We'll see you on Thursday. Need any remote drafters? Are you a drafter, like a drafting table guy? I don't know. That's not really my forte. That's my wife. But if you email Carrie, Karrie at Bunkie Life, show us what you got. Shoot your shot, bro. Kristen, I have shared this with so many friends and family. Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Danielle says, yes, I'm so going to spread the word of Bunkie Life. Well, appreciate that. Good family vibes here. So many families in Oklahoma are trying to get started on their homesteads. This would be such a great tool for that process. Yes. So a lot of clients use the bunkie as a staging thing. So it's like they build the bunkie. It gets them like a physical space to go to while they're building their bigger homestead, cottage, camp, cabin, whatever the bigger thing they're building. It's a great first step, right? If you got this remote property. So yes, I can highly recommend it for that purpose. Dozens of people have used it that way up here in this area and all over now. So may I ask what it is that brings you to Oklahoma any chance you get? I don't know. I really got a great vibe from the folks I met last time I came, and it feels like it's a little more air to breathe. I mean, I live in the country here in Ontario, but we're not necessarily known for lax building codes. Just the opposite. It takes forever to do anything here. So I'm excited at that kind of idea of yeah, you can just do stuff, which is pretty exciting without all the red tape and stuff. Kimberly, this has been great info. Well, I hope it's been informative and helpful. Thank you for tuning in. Kimmy says, homestead life, 100%. Okay, cool. Well, guys, girls, gentlemen, ladies, it's been a pleasure. If you have any further questions, David at Bunkie Life, you can always email me or call us on the phone. We're real people. And we'll see you on Thursday. Tell your friends about the contest. And if there's anything that you have questions, if you'd like to buy a bunkie, we'd love to make that happen for you. So keep me in the loop. And we will see you in just 4 days from now. So thanks for tuning in. Oh, wait. Thank you, Facebook user. What is the code word? I almost forgot. The code word is nylon. That code word again. Hold on. Can you read it? Nylon. 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 Okay? That's the code word. Nylon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on Thursday, the 14th. Thanks so much.